You don't know what ghetto style means right now. I guess I'm just going to break it down for you.
Well, here we are, episode 31, take 2.
Yeah.
Episode 31 and a half.
31 and a half of Three Brothers Talking. Another quarantine episode. We should start calling these like the quarantine files or something.
Call Q2. It sounds like something businessy.
Q2, the Q2 episodes. This is quarantine number 2 episode.
Technically, you're more quarantined now than before. Technically. But even
true.
then, if you read it, you're not that quarantined.
Yeah, but at the same time, we're not. Yeah.
Yeah.
But should we give like a dateline? Like dateline.
Well, we're basically a week in.
We are.
Yeah.
We're a week into full stay-at-home mode, and we are now doing.
Not me.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, you are, but
Yeah, okay.
Jeremy's
You're just-
essential.
you're essential. Yeah, but we are actually doing something even more difficult than battling a virus. We are recording the same episode for a second time.
Yep.
So
Technical difficulties.
technical difficulties that we still honestly have no explanation for, nor will we ever. You know, some questions in life you just don't get answered. But
You guys missed some golden stuff.
you did,
Yeah.
and hopefully we can deliver it again. I'm not sure if that'll be the case.
The rapport was clicking on that one.
I couldn't find Andrew to do a callback to it, so that didn't happen. I was trying to find a koozie,
Oh,
and I couldn't find my koozie.
Yeah.
So
the sad thing is that our listeners may now never know, and now they might never actually receive a Three Brothers koozie.
no, it's
Because
gonna
that
happen.
content is lost.
It's
So
gone.
We went on for about 15 minutes about that.
The science of koozies.
So if you didn't want to hear about that, then
Oh,
you've been
I'm-
spared.
I'm sure they wanted to hear
Well,
about it.
they might not have known, but when you heard it, you're like, "Yeah, I wanted to hear that." It was
Yeah.
good.
Like they would know what they missed out on.
Yeah.
It's gold, like the koozie.
Exactly. Like the koozie. This will still be a more fun episode of Three Brothers Talking. We will dig into other topics later on. But first one, we're going to talk some about the NFL, and we're also going to talk about things that we would recommend doing during these next, well, for us, one more week. Although, I mean, would anyone be surprised if it was another one added
Well,
on to that?
Yeah,
You know?
just an update since we last recorded is like my work already has made the call to extend it through April 10th.
Right? I'm assuming it's going to get moved back at least another
Yeah.
week.
I think Easter's probably like if that's the earliest to probably start thinking about a whole
About
big
like
big
reopening
changes.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure. But anyway, if you're like us, you are aware of what's going on and you care about it, and we're not dismissing it. So please nobody
Yeah.
fill our inbox with like how you virus denier. Not only that. At the same time, we want to have fun because you can still have fun in life.
Mm-hmm.
And there are still good things going on.
Well, and there's plenty of that. Like you can get all that negativity and all that from your news feed and
Yeah.
everything out there. So this is hopefully a little escape.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
the goal. So we are going to talk about things that we recommend. I'll put a timestamp as to when we actually get into that, so that if you hate the NFL and you hate that we're even talking about these things, you can just skip ahead to that part of the episode. But I promise this is going to be really good as well, because huge things happen in the NFL.
Yeah.
Which I'm thankful for, because it gave the news something to talk about that wasn't
Other than Corona.
than Corona.
Think about, like, I was thinking about this after the fact too, that like ESPN, like they got to be like thanking for NFL free agency.
Oh yes,
Just because like they have nothing to talk about. And then all these trades and stuff took place, and it's like, thank you, something.
yes.
Well, and it's a big free agency. It's not like there's a lot of big names moving around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Obviously, the quarterbacks, like you rarely see this many quarterbacks moving around at the same
Big
time.
old carousel.
And big old, okay, the carousel. Everyone says QB carousel.
Or the coaching carousel.
Or the coaching, it'll start with so like carousel.
Life is a carousel, Jeremy.
life is a battlefield.
Life
I
is
heard. Or
it's
love is
also a
battlefield.
highway. I've heard.
Life is a lot of things, but no, like you have legendary quarterbacks who've won more than anything else. Like even Philip Rivers is like the top tier for like yardage and all that stuff.
I think it's going to be super weird to see him in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be weird. I think what'll be weirder though, between Tom Brady and the Bucks.
Oh,
I think
or
they're
Philip
both
Rivers.
weird.
it's Tom
Yeah,
Brady.
what's-
It's Tom Brady on the Bucks because
I agree.
The Colts have history and tradition. It doesn't include Philip Rivers, which I love Philip Rivers because he's like the trash talker. He's like the polite. Well, he's like incredibly rude, but he's never he's never crude, right? Like he's famous for not cursing, but he'll like just rip guys mercilessly at the same time. And so I love Philip Rivers. And the Indianapolis history doesn't incorporate him, but they have plenty of history, obviously.
Yeah.
And they have like a classy uniform and a classy organization. But then the Buccaneers are like, their
uniforms are trash now.
Their uniforms are trash. I heard they're getting new ones, which you definitely need to get new ones because you can't put Tom Brady in that ugly.
You should just name your team the Fighting Brady's and I'll be done.
Signing was he forced the hand that new uniforms had to be on the docket.
No more. What'd you call them, David? Alarm clock uniforms?
Alarm clock, yeah. The font, somebody called them the alarm clock font for the numbers. And it's like, that's a very, very accurate.
It just looks like it's way too much. They tried to do way too much with it.
Dude, they're like that. The Cardinals are like that.
Yeah.
Although the Cardinals are better because they use less colors. Tampa Bay has like general. 5 colors going on.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I'm still I love the classic unis. Like, like the Bear. Like, I mean, obviously I love the Bears. Like, even the Steelers and the Colts and uniforms. Like, even, I hate the Packers, but like, just like classy uniforms. That don't have a ton going on.
I think the Colts have one of the best uniforms in the league.
Like the clean white?
It's just blue. Well, I like the blue ones too. Just like,
I like the blue
you get
ones
two
more,
colors. You have blue, you have white. Boom. Like, you just make those work. Tampa Bay is like, hey, here's another square inch. Like, what else can we use?
Let's add a new color.
Is there another shade of red we could use here? What do you guys think?
Is there like a different bronze that we can use?
Yeah.
Or remember the Jaguars helmets that like went gradient fill?
Well, so they had to do it front to back, right? Because the NFL wouldn't let them do left to right. Because then the uniform, if like a player was facing you in one direction, you would apparently forget what team he was on. Because you're like, oh, he's got a black helmet. Oh, it's a gold helmet.
That would look even more idiotic to do left to right.
I don't think it would. Yeah. I think the way they did it was the most idiotic you could do it.
I don't know.
I don't know. Helmets are a whole new thing, but like, I'm excited for them to go back to it. Nike went like way off the reservation though. So like they changed uniforms.
Seahawks did
Just
it.
Go back to class. Yeah. Seahawks is highlighter green, and even the Rams is highlighter yellow uniforms.
Yeah. Dude,
awful.
How did we get on to uniforms so much?
Tampa Bay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. That's all they got, man. Bruce Arians. But okay, let's go back to coaching. So Bruce Arians as Tom Brady. He's also coached Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, and there's like 2 or 3 other guys.
King of the Castle,
Peyton Manning,
Carson Palmer.
That's what I was trying to think of. So and Kurt Warner, like all these big name coaches.
We don't talk about Carson Palmer on this podcast because he like pooped all over the city of Cincinnati and then left. So
well, to be fair, there was some justification for
I can't say I blame him.
Yeah.
I'm still defensive about it.
I mean, his whole point was that they weren't trying to win the entire time he was there, and he was kind of made sense.
Is Andy Dalton going to sign anywhere?
I hope he goes to New England.
Is he actually cut, or is he still on the roster?
No, he's going to get traded, I think.
He's still on the roster. Probably until the draft or just before the draft.
Well, the thing is, I don't think they can get anything for him trade-wise now.
Oh, you can get something.
All the quarterbacks are gone. All the teams that need quarterbacks are gone.
And all of their leverage has gone out the window.
Except for New England. Like, that's a pretty big team.
Well, that's your only choice is New England. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think New England... I think they'll take their chance on a young guy before they...
I see them drafting. Yeah. They're going to draft.
You think so?
Yeah, they'll draft. They might trade for someone like later on, like a Fitzpatrick or something like that.
No.
Yes.
If Bill Belichick is going to try to win, he's not going to try to win with Fitzpatrick.
Bill Belichick will try to do whatever he wants, and he will
Dave,
succeed.
you know what's gonna happen is they're gonna pull the rug out from everybody, and New England is gonna sweep in and pick up PJ Walker,
Boom.
starting for your New England Patriots.
Yeah.
Week
So
one.
the XFL,
Yeah.
man,
Jeremy.
brings people back.
He's
Jeremy.
in the NFL now, so he's got a contract.
I need Jeremy to react to the XFL news that the XFL will be back next year, but PJ Walker will not be the star of the XFL.
I'm excited because this is what the XFL gets a whole new slate to do, a whole new first season, and they also
new PJ
get people
Walkers.
to come back. Well,
Yeah.
they need people. They need people to sign like tight ends and stuff to go to the NFL. It has to be that way.
New PJ Walkers.
And two, I think for longevity, they need new fresh faces in the league every year.
Yeah, like every year,
Yeah.
the systems, the way it's done, you need that
Yeah.
for the fans to stay interested. It's
Yeah.
not going to be the NFL.
You think
Never.
so? It is kind of a catch-22. Like if you have a great player that people want to watch, he's going to end up in the NFL.
Well,
He's not going to come
but
back for another year. You know what I'm saying?
if you look at the coaching staff, most of the coaches got really big in college. You had like 2 to 3 years to get their starters really well and had systems that did that. So if you look at it from that standpoint, it's built to do that.
Other than Jim Zorn.
Oh yeah, Jim Zorn.
Who else?
Jim Zorn
Who
was
else
such a bad
moved?
And
coach.
Mark Trustman,
Oh.
I guess.
Well, he got
CFL.
big in Canada.
Speaking
Yeah.
of which, Canada has not delayed their season yet, so we could have CFL football if we want to watch something.
Dude, I'm about to watch more CFL football than I've ever watched in my life.
Gonna watch the Grey Cup.
Oh, you better
Go
believe it.
Alouettes.
I'm about to adopt a team. Who's it going to be?
I just picked the Alouettes, so
I don't even. Yeah, I should know this because I know know all the provinces and stuff. But
do you know all the provinces of Canada?
I mean, we
I
have
know
to
'em.
file tax there. So yeah,
Name 3 provinces of Canada.
Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Newfoundland, New Brunswick.
Good job.
Newfoundland, New Brunswick, Quebec. No, Quebec's not.
Quebec is one. Quebec is
Quebec
one.
is one, yeah.
Ontario,
Dang, Andrew, you're so smart. You're international.
Prince,
I forgot all
Edward,
that
Prince
stuff.
Edward's Island. is one of them.
Northwest Territories.
Yeah,
So anyway,
yeah. Geography
the
lesson.
big. So Teddy Bridgewater went to the Panthers,
yeah,
right?
I'm happy for
And
him. Yeah.
I am too. I think he deserves a
yeah, and
starting
that's
spot.
where PJ Walker is at least
People
currently
don't-
as a backup.
People don't
I think it's a
realize that Teddy Bridgewater literally almost lost his leg. He broke his leg so bad that they almost had to cut it off. Like Civil War era medicine, right? Like, oh, you broke your leg, it's gone now. He almost had that happen to him, and now he's going to play in the NFL as a starting QB.
I kind of wish that he would. Granted, I'm glad he got a job.
Kind of wish he would have
and-
lost his leg.
No, not that. I'm glad he got a job in Carolina because I think he'll fit there. But part of me wishes he would have gone to the Bears, just because I like Teddy. I like the
Teddy
story
Bear,
of him
Jeremy,
doing
you
it.
gotta
Teddy
be-
Bear was
you-
perfect. It was right there.
You got to be happy with Nick Foles,
Oh,
though.
I am happy. I think Nick Foles is a great choice, especially if they can restructure his contract.
The
That's what
end,
they're saying.
the end of the Mitch era. The Mitchell Trubisky.
The end of the Mitch era.
The Mitch
What do you,
Mitchell.
Jeremy? What do you think they do with Mitch?
They're going to keep him because his contract is $9 million, whether they cut him or keep him.
He's still on it. He's still on his rookie deal, right?
Yeah. Do you want to hear what Jared said, by the way, Andrew?
Yeah.
What?
So this is a corona thing. So during this corona outbreak, remember at least 10 feet away from others. If you're wondering how far that is, picture a Bears wide receiver and then imagine where Trubisky actually threw the pass. that distance is about 10 feet.
You need to share. Could you send that to me? That's pretty good.
It
good.
was
Yeah,
it was
he sent it to
literally
all of us.
it was literally already sent to you.
Oh.
To
I
get
don't
in your
check
inbox.
I don't check our messenger on very often. So
Here's my
No,
question.
it's your personal messenger,
Here's-
Andrew.
Here's my
I
question.
don't check it. I don't get on Facebook Messenger.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not getting
it
on
is a good
Facebook
thing.
is a good thing. One thing that I have a question about is Mitch Trubisky going to change his name back to Mitch?
Mitchell?
No, it was Mitch. It was Mitch. He gets the NFL. He wants to be Mitchell. Now he gets benched. Does he go back to Mitch? Like, hey, Mitchell didn't work out for me.
I
need to go
hope
to
he does
Michigan.
good, but he's definitely a backup. And I always picture him with like a flipped up collar, like a
Oh,
frat boy.
Mitch. And he went
Mitchie.
to UNC. He's like,
He reminds me so much of Tim Tebow.
He
What?
Like
he
a-
only start
Like as
Wow.
far as the player he is.
Oh,
Yeah.
now without doing any research. He only started like 10, 11 games in UNC
yeah.
history.
He only
and that's
started
it.
a year.
And didn't PJ Walker back him up?
PJ Walker played at
let me see.
Temple, I thought.
Who,
Yeah, PJ Walker
somebody-
played at Temple.
Who am I thinking of?
You're close.
Yeah, close.
But yeah, I mean, Jeremy's team got a new quarterback.
Mhm.
My-
I'm excited. I love Nick Foles as a person and the story of him doing really well.
Yeah.
So
My team hopefully is going to have a healthy quarterback for hopefully, and a healthy wide receiver and a healthy running back, and then we can actually do decent. And that is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No, they're not going to have any of those things.
That's literally
Steelers.
like all we need. Like we have solid defense.
All we need is like everyone
pe-
to be healthy.
Is like for not people to not just fall apart and like be out for the entirety of the year.
That's what your team does, though.
Because like literally last year we had all of those offensive weapons, running back, Big Ben, Smith-Schuster, all out for the majority of the year, and yet they were an above 500 team.
Yeah.
Just in spite of all that. And it's
That's
like,
'cause-
okay, if you actually have your offensive weapons,
That's because you had Duck Hodges. You had Duck Hodges, baby, and Mason
But-
Rudolph.
how much longer can Big Ben keep going? Like honestly,
I think he's hardly going now. He's
Yeah.
like
he reminds me of like a train. Like it's like I'm just gonna keep going with the train that
I
little
heard-
engine that could.
I
The
heard
momentum.
something today. I heard something from my father-in-law today that evidently the rumor around Pittsburgh was that because like the last couple of years he's flirted with retirement, you know,
oh yeah,
and he's like been towing the line. And even this year, it was like a done deal that he was for sure going to come back. He was rehabbing, everything was good. But everybody in Pittsburgh evidently said that the whole reason was he just bought like a new $7.5 million house, and they
Oh.
haven't sold their old house yet. So, and like the rumor was that like his wife bought the house, and he's just like, oh, I should probably keep my game checks coming in for at least one more year. Not that like he doesn't have plenty of money, but yet like nobody in Pittsburgh right now wants to buy a $7 million home.
yeah. I don't think there's
Yeah.
too many. I don't think there's too many like $7 million houses thrown around Pittsburgh
Yeah.
for sale. Pretty small market, I would think. My team,
So,
team, the Bengals, is going to be picking, Joe Burrow probably in the first round of the draft, and
Yeah, that'll happen.
we'll probably still stink next year. But
Well, you're the Bengals.
Hey, they
so.
splashed some cash though,
they
just recently.
did. Yeah, actually, since we recorded last,
At least defense wise.
yeah, we spent the most money that anyone's ever spent on a defensive tackle, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, that's a start. Hey, David, do you know where Kiki got drafted or got picked up by the Bears?
Barkevius Mingo?
Yeah, he got picked up this year.
I didn't know the Barkevius Mingo was still alive, to be honest.
Yeah. I haven't heard from him in a while.
Yeah. My bigger question is, what was this guy's name? Because he had a cool name that's playing for the Bengals now. Let's look it up. This is great. This is great radio.
Live time. Jeremy's evidently audio cut out. So
Jeremy just can't keep his stuff together.
yeah.
DJ Reader, that's his name. I think it's a great name, DJ Reader.
But they got, Bengals splash cash on Von Bell
Von
coming
Bell?
back to Ohio. If you're an Ohio State fan,
I think that it's weird because I think that the Bengals are actually spending money this year, and that's unheard of. Although they should probably spend money on creating an indoor practice facility, which is that's insane.
yeah,
They are a professional team that has to they have to practice at high schools indoor facilities at times, or college indoor facilities. Like, that's just insane.
yeah,
They're a professional team. It doesn't make any sense at all.
and they're still a $1 billion organization.
Yeah, they're in the NFL. I
Yeah.
mean, they've got money. If you're in the NFL, you have
figure
money.
it out. Yeah,
Yeah,
It's one of those essential jobs.
yeah. So it's they're still making plenty of money. They just don't spend any of it. Although maybe this year they're beginning to do something. So
success in Tampa. Do you think Tom Brady is that a plus or minus 10-win team this year?
yes, probably.
I think they're going to be pretty good.
Well, they already had an okay defense. They've got some pretty good offensive talent, and they have Tom Brady. So
Yeah.
it'll
pretty good.
it'll be interesting. We've literally never seen Tom Brady with a coach that's not Bill Belichick, right? So the question of like, what does, I mean, I'm excited in some ways because we'll actually get to answer the question of like, were they great together, or are they also great separate, or were they just great together?
Is he a system only?
The other big question, do you guys know the big trade for DeAndre Hopkins? Would you ever make that trade?
No. Of course not.
No.
If you don't know, DeAndre Hopkins is now an Arizona Cardinal. Cardinals sent back David Johnson and a pick for him, basically. Or they swap picked, and then the Houston got an extra pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of picks, the Jags have like 12. They have the max at 12 this year.
they loaded up.
Yeah, they're rebuilding, man.
Got rid of Foles.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wonder if Belichick will do a burn to the ground rebuild in New England, or if he will try to get a veteran QB or something and
If
keep him
anyone
right
could
away.
do it and stay in the job, it'd be Belichick.
Of course, Bill Belichick can have any job he wants
The
until he
rumors
dies.
were swirling that they were going to try to make a play to bring back Jimmy Garoppolo.
There's no way.
But, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I heard that, and I'm like, there's no way he's going to go. Well, they were talking about the same thing because they're going to send Tom Brady to the Niners and then Garoppolo
Wouldn't
back.
that be the
Yeah.
funniest? Like, that would be too fake of a storyline to have them to have Garoppolo come back and then win a Super Bowl in New England.
Honestly,
that would be
that's
too
where-
incredible.
Honestly, that would make more sense to me, just how it would play out
The
timeline
Bucks.
wise for Tom Brady to go there to more of a kind of ready built team, and then basically you have like your 1 or 2 year quarterback, and then because you have a brand new young coach there that could then draft the heir apparent that he wants,
Yeah.
and like that made way more sense to me than him going to Tampa, but that's the drama.
Well, I don't think the 49ers wanted to change anything.
Yeah.
Like
What'd you-
Why would they?
What do you think?
Why would they?
The whole everyone's talking about Brady to the Bucks or Brady to the Raiders. What do you think of that whole thing?
I mean, I don't
to
think it was
Vegas?
ever going to happen. Yeah. I don't think it was ever going to happen. I think that Tom Brady probably knew a little while ago where he was going to end up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no pressure there, so you can do whatever you want in Tampa. Just cash your checks and move on.
Well, and Tampa had more talent. Like, he's going to a pretty good he's going to a pretty
weird.
good environment to win there.
Yeah. It's weird to think about the Tampa having talent because for years they really didn't.
No, not since John Gruden was there.
I did today because Kaylee's little brother, they came just briefly. We were in quarantine. We made sure,
Whoa.
but they did come visit.
Did you keep your
and
distance?
we
You are
downloaded-
going to end us all.
Yeah,
You're
we
going to end
downloaded
us
the
all.
NFL. We downloaded the current rosters on Madden, so I did get to play with Tom Brady on the Bucks.
Did any of the players have Corona?
No, they
Nobody
at
was
least on-
out. Nobody was out for a week and a half with Corona.
Unexpected.
the Corona rosters were not updated yet.
Okay.
On the pup list.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
but
All
at
right.
least we have that going on.
It's
Yeah.
true. I need to get Madden.
The draft.
I do love football games.
Draft will be soon, so we'll have that going on.
Yeah.
That's really all we have right now. Because
Well,
NCAA's out.
And for
Even
all,
NASCAR's out.
maybe this is a good bridge for all you in quarantine. Like thinking ahead, potentially. I had we had this thought when I was talking about it. Like if you look to getting over this, eventually things do open back up, and you look to the end of summer time frame of August or September, it could turn into one of the most jam-packed sports calendars in the late summer, early fall timeframe of like the Masters happening, NBA finals happening, hockey playoffs happening, MLB trying to get a shortened season in. Like everything could,
The MLB can stand short season.
like all those professional leagues are still going to want to get something done. And I think all of them could just jam pack it into like a month and it could just be
Man,
chaos.
it would be awesome if the MLB like created some like shortened season. That would be really cool. I'd love that.
If you're a guaranteed contract, like in baseball, because all the contracts are guaranteed, is this just like you get paid? You're done right now, or what?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I don't know if
I think they'd have to.
I think you'd have to.
I don't know. You get paid per game. You get paid on game checks. You
I
don't
don't know if it's just like, do you add the end of your contract or what?
Yeah. That's an interesting question. I had not thought of that.
That's what we're all about on this podcast.
We need somebody.
questions.
Yeah, we need somebody in the MLB to reach out to.
I'll reach out to my MLB contacts.
None of us are really into the MLB, so that's the other part of this.
I was getting into it. I was going to go to the opening day weekend at Cincinnati this year, and it's gone. Didn't go.
This year, I was going to get into to MLB, like I tried last year.
Like you
but
tried.
I didn't.
Yeah, how'd that go last year?
It didn't. This year's my year, but now it's delayed. I figure I could enjoy it.
Why did you just randomly pick like, oh, I'm going to get an MLB?
Because it sounded fun.
To be fair, I did that at one point, but it actually worked for me, and I got into it.
Yeah, I just had a kid in life.
Yeah,
it happened.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
I have a funny story to tell you after this, David, about talking to a friend about what to do.
All right, that was vague.
That was vague. Josh, I was talking to Josh, Joshy Hartz.
Oh, okay.
And he asked me what to do, and
about having a kid. I think he knows that he has kids.
Well, it's just lots of new things.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, let's talk about the recos that we can give people here.
Yeah.
So my first one is you want something that has plenty of length to it. If we're if Mike DeWine keeps us like locked in our cellars until Easter, you're gonna need to fill a lot of stuff. So you don't need to have a band that you can listen to for like a couple hours. You need a band you can listen to for days. And so I went back and started listening to old Relient K albums, and what I discovered is just how lighthearted and honestly just like silly all of them are. Like they're not always like the most artistic things, but they're incredibly nostalgic. And I've been jamming those in like old Amber Lynn albums. Anything
MXPX.
Anything where the artist has put out like days worth of music, that's what you're looking for. And so I'm going to recommend listening to those. That music reminds you of simpler times.
I was going to say, try rereading an old book if you don't have anything new. I'm rereading Shadow of the Mountain by Cliffy Graham.
Great book.
And it's fantastic. I was rereading the first few chapters last night. Like, man, this is good stuff. All of his books. Read his books.
I believe he has another new book out that came out last year in that series, but I'm not sure.
Big new book?
Big new book.
I would just say, I mean, both of those are the overarching thought through this whole thing, because we don't know how long this is really going to go on. And you're going to see, you can obviously get your fill of, the news feed and whatever's scrolling through Facebook or whatever. And the more that you can use this time for potentially for bettering and getting into some other hobby or some other distraction, or something that God has maybe been laying on your heart to grow you in a certain area, is something that you should embrace and fully dive into, because ultimately, like all of us here, we know we're not in control of today. We're not in control of tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so nothing that you're going to see on Facebook or you're going to see day by day here on the news. Yes, you are being cautious with your family and with your household and all that, but nothing is going to change or, give you any semblance of control over this situation. So you might as well
Enjoy.
pick something else up and enjoy the time that God has given you to possibly grow you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's something, if I can piggyback that. So Faith and I have taken walks the past few days.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to talk to like 3 or 4 neighbors
Mhm.
and actually got a few of their phone numbers and said, hey, like, let's keep our social distance and maybe grab a beer. We can talk. But even like just being able to talk to our neighbors, if you need anything, here's my number.
Yeah.
Call.
We went, we're pretty close with our next door neighbors because they have a couple young boys right in between Lincoln's age too. We got to hand them, because they were fresh out of both paper towels and disinfectant wipes. And fortunately, we had already done our big Sam's Club run. We let the boys play social distance wise in their backyard. So they were kind of out in the open air for a little bit. And they were all healthy and good. And,
Good.
The weather changing too, I would really recommend, if you're gonna like maybe be active and get out, try to get outside. And if you're gonna see, like, at least for me, it's been really refreshing not to like wake up to a set alarm every morning.
Yeah.
And like, if I want to get up and get outside and get a jog in or a walk in the morning, like with the sunrise, because that just kind of sets your whole basis for the day ahead. Whether you're going to be shut in, working on your work from home, and you're going to be inundated with all of the, the latest updates of what the case count is and everything, all the negativity.
Yeah.
That's just one way to just get a clear picture at the beginning of each day that, wow, God has given me another day on this earth.
Yeah.
And there is beauty in it. And he is still on the throne and he is still in control.
That's right.
And that's one way to level set, hopefully, that, whether you're at home, that's something that can't be taken away from you.
Yeah. Piggyback off of the piggyback. Ligonier Connect is like this online curriculum lecture, all kind. It's like you can take these classes online through Ligonier, which was started by RC Sproul. And right now you can do group studies absolutely for free right now.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to feel not only connected to other people, but also to use this time to grow in your understanding of the word and stuff, you can for free get access to all these lectures and take them as a course, so to speak, with other people. I just started taking one on the Westminster Confession of Faith. And hey, you know what? If anybody wants to do that with me from the podcast audience, you can let me know. You can join my study group for that. But it's totally free, and that will help you lean into something that will pick you up instead of just give you reasons to worry. Because even though if you look at the news right now, honestly, it's not just reasons to worry. There's not like apocalypse happening, but it can still feel that way sometimes.
Yeah.
But just spending that time in the word things that in the word will remind you life's not falling apart.
It especially gets closer to home because like on the news it might not, but then as soon as you go over to Facebook and you scroll through and you see one particular story come across as something that brings it close to home, then it's like, then that negativity can then creep in.
Yep.
And
big time.
David, another Dwell Bible, if you go to their thing, they're doing 60 days free right now. The Dwell Bible audio app, which is a really good audio app. All three of us really like.
Mm-hmm.
And spend time, like, read and pray, but also check up and actually call. Don't just text, but call people. Like, I've been trying to call or FaceTime with their grandparents quite a bit, or even face parents. We actually went to the park the other day and just walked around. It was packed.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all good things. Stay connected as much as you can because that's important.
I think it could be. I was like, it definitely, because now you have to make an effort to be connected. Yeah. And that's where it could be awakening for a lot of people to reconnect with like relationships that maybe they should rekindle and they should be investing in more. And now you have the opportunity and you have a little more time on your hands to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think most of all, don't just spend this whole time watching the news and then Netflix and then the news and then Tiger King and then the news some more,
and then Facebook,
and then Facebook. You're going to be miserable if you do that. That is a recipe for misery. So don't do that. But other than that, I think we did a good job on this episode. And I think we actually captured the audio. Everybody double check, make sure we've had audio.
I am still recording. Yeah.
I see the little blippity blips
Beautiful.
on my thing.
We're doing a great job.
In
that case-
that's a technical term.
And in that case, we are glad that this episode will actually hopefully come to fruition. And
Yes.
we will talk to you guys again very soon. We're trying to put out more right now because we've got a little bit more margin to be able to do more. So, threebrotherstalking.com. Give us feedback. Tell us things that you want us to talk about.
Yeah.
And also, tell us what you're doing to pass the time with all this. Things that you've learned from all of it. So we'll be back. And until then, we will talk to you next time.